What's up, guys? Welcome back to Wrenching Wrecked. Still jamming away on the Sporty, and then I might start messing with the tractor. Thank you for those that left comments on how to adjust steering or things to look at on the tractor. I think, and it was kind of in my mind too, but the axle spacing on here, I think I am gonna try and just gap this axle out. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that today or if I'm gonna start going through the box of parts that showed up for the shovelhead and the ironhead that I've been waiting on. For you, it probably hasn't been that long, but I have not filmed anything in about 4 or 5 days because I was laid out. I got real sick, kind of came, little tickle in the throat, and then 2 days of barely getting out of bed. So just getting over that. So if there's some coughing, I apologize. Luckily that shouldn't transfer through the TV screen. But got to figure out the axle steering on this, which I've been putting off forever. It doesn't look too bad. We got 1, 2, 3 bolts to kind of loosen, so we'll jack up the front end. Maybe we'll start with that before I start opening. I kind of want to see what some of these parts look like. Let's do the tractor first. Then we'll go through all the little bits that I got in there. There's really nothing too important in there other than the rear fender for the back of this. Then I might spend some time on the lathe making some bungs for the lower mount for that. We'll really kind of see how much energy I got. I've been up at the coating shop, and let me tell you, not the best environment when you're getting over a little cold. So yeah, there's that. A little bit of tractor, a little bit of ironhead. Choppers and tractors, I guess. What we're gonna do is got this all up in the air. So we got a little bit of pivot on there. I can also give this a better shakedown in terms of free play, but got that jacked up. Let me grab some sockets and wrenches. We'll start on this side just because it's a little bit easier to get to, and we'll go 1 or 2 holes out. So we'll move this over 1 basically, and hopefully everything lines up. And if not, we'll put it back the way it was. We got 1/1/16 socket here. Big guy. I don't think there needs to be that much here. Okay. Well, there's one side, 1 slot over. So now we know what to do here. This one's gonna be kind of a pain underneath the loader, but I think that's what we're gonna do. So let me loosen these up, duplicate that, and see if the steering situation gets any better. before I lowered it. I'm gonna leave it there for now. Didn't take too long, but still hitting over here, unfortunately. So I gotta figure out the steering gear timing, or potentially, I guess I could just grab a tape measure and measure across this on the drag link. The other issue is the farther, when I move the axle out, this is sitting on farther of an angle, which then runs into clearance issues on the cylinder here. So I'm really kind of leaning towards like a steering alignment issue, because now we have rubbing issues there on the loader itself. I get a little bit farther of a left turn, but still not far enough. So sadly, the easiest method of just widening the axle didn't work. I could go farther, but that's going to give me more complications on the steering side over here. So realistically, that's probably going to end up going back to where it was. It's too cold to mess with that today, but we went one tooth out. So I think what we're going to do is, it's easier to see here, but duplicate it on the other side. I think it's got to be something on this steering gear, is my guess. I might be able to swap these lengths if I run them. I believe this should be the shorter one, the other one should be longer. I'm wondering, per some other people's advice, if we flip-flop those drag links out one side to the other. I do have new ball joints for it too that need to get done. And I did also get another set of drag link pitman arms. So I do have another used set that I got super cheap that I don't mind hacking up. That way I don't have to ruin these. But that's kind of where we're at for that. It's as far as I wanted to go. I was hoping it'd be a quick and easy fix, but I'm still running into the same issues. So for now, we'll wait on that. I might have to look at aligning the steering wheel and engaging the worm gear for the steering wheel to the actual steering box and figure out where that needs to be. And maybe re-clock the timing on that gear down low, but that's it for now. Let's go look at Harley stuff. Well, I was hoping to have a little more energy. I'm actually kind of spent from that little bit over there. I did take a tape measure and measure this drag link is longer than the other one. This one's like 38.5 from the tie rod end to the other tie rod end. It's about 36 on the other side. So this one's longer, so I think the next move is actually going to be to flip-flop the drag links when I get motivation to do it. And I'm probably going to set those axles back to where they were as well, just because everything steered kind of okay before, but I think you can see how wide that drag link is spread now, looking down from here. But I'd rather have it rubbing one direction like it was than rubbing both ways like it is now with the wider axle. So unfortunately that didn't work, but let's dig through some boxes of stuff. We got all sorts of goodies. Fuel valve for this gas tank. Big twin. So we got parts for the shovelhead, finally. Main seal gaskets. Sprocket for this bike. Wheel bearing rebuild for this bike. Chain tensioner for this. Clutch cable for this. Flat sprocket. That should help on the rear end of this. In terms of the chain alignment, we might have to adjust the wheel spacers a little bit on this for the chain adjusters. So I got axle mounted ones, so we might have to tweak some of the spacers that we've had on there for a little bit, but that's okay. And some more gaskets and other things, but this is the box I was really looking for. Shovelhead gasket stuff. Chain stuff. And the rest of this is for a buddy of mine. Ooh. Fender. let's open this up and see what this thing looks like. Got the box opened up and then took off all the stuff that was just kind of bolted on there. So let's get this out of the bag. There we go. See how this looks on here now. It's been a minute since I've run a full-length fender. I forgot how long these can actually be. Okay. So this gives us a lot more options. Ooh, very sharp. Remind me to dress the edges of this before I start slicing my fingers open. But with a full fender on here, we're going to run into a little bit of chain issues here. So we'll Sharpie out a little bit and notch one little section here. But I think we are going to run this a bit on the longer side. Got the nice little kick out there. And I think I'm actually just going to hack off this mount and make a fresh one. A little bit cleaner. We got a lot of options here, but just have to figure out where we want the fender to sit. And now that's getting in my way because I should be able to pull this up a little bit tighter down here on the battery tray. I'm going to be welding a bung in there, so basically steel bung will get welded onto here to fill the gap. So I don't have to do a nut and a bolt and a spacer. It'll just be a threaded bung welded to the fender, and then we'll do one bolt through here. But that gives me options. I can't really do too much in terms of mocking that up with the way it sits because there's no central place to hold it steady in place. So for now, I'll set you guys here, kind of hold that out one more time. It'll give us a rough visual with the sheet metal on there. So something like that-ish. Width-wise, I'm okay with that. And then we'll kind of go from there. Cut off this ugly tab, especially if it's getting a Springer seat, which is I think what he said he wanted. If it's a Springer seat, this will all be visible, so I do want to kind of clean all that up. We'll get rid of that and start from scratch there. And then a lot of the times what I end up doing is for this upper mount, I'll weld a section of like angle iron or steel plate off of this section of the frame and then do another section of angle iron or steel plate on the fender so the weight of the fender kind of pushes down on that. And then it'll bolt in down below. So that'll give you 2 mounting points plus the rear, so 3. And then kind of go from there. But that's the parts. And then we got the stuff for the wheel, sprocket. We can line that up before we do any final mock-up on the chain. And then we got a new sprocket that I can throw on here too. But that'll go on when we do final assembly. For now, we'll just we'll swap out the rear sprocket, get the chain set for this long, but we can at least kind of lay that out and then we'll know where to mark the fender. And that'll kind of wrap this video up. I know it's not really a fun one, but I'm losing my voice. Talking is killing me. So that's it for now. More stuff to do. If I'm not filming and we come back and there's more stuff done on this, it's because I'm not feeling that well and this is more draining than just trying to work on stuff. So we'll catch you on the next one.